Welcome to Poetic License, filled with creativity and doggone fun. I'm Sue Carlson, guest hosting for Donna Scheer, that bionic hip chick who is here by the magic of electronic media while her new shoulder is on the mend. Kudos to Chip and Tony for making the movie magic that transports Donna to us. Speaking of media magic, there's lots of it right here at FCTV, including this lovely shell art, shell and rock art by Donna Eccles, one of which is this beautiful light-up lady and dog, very appropriate for our theme this evening. If you want to find out more about programming and classes here at FCTV, go to fctv.org. And now for the topic of the evening. When the star called Sirius would appear in the sky just before the sun in July and August, that marked the very hottest days of the year. The Romans in the early centuries referred to this period as dies caniculares, or days of the dog star, which was eventually translated as just dog days, the suggested theme for our program this evening. Another hot dog tale. Animal rescue advocate and dog trainer Colleen Page founded National Dog Day in 2004. It's held each year on August 26th. Well, we thought we might have a rough time, but we did it. Here's our very own Donna Scheer. Muchas gracias, Donna. Brings me right back to my childhood, growing up with a Guatemalan au pair, a Yorkie, and a Great Dane. Not to be cliche, but I also had two parents, two siblings, and an alligator-like pet caiman. This poem is called Burning Cliches. Are these the hot dog days of summer? Are they passionately hot? In the heat of anger? Has trouble put us in hot water? Are we burning books and burning bridges? Or is the warmth of the sun illuminating our days? Does it coax hot pink flowers from the earth and beckon them skyward? Here it warms us with its touch until we are on fire with creativity. And on that note, let's start with our creative shares of the evening. The first of which is from Ellen Todd, the wonderful word wizard.
Hello, I'm Ellen Todd, and I am a storyteller. When I first heard that the theme was going to be dog days, I was pretty certain what I was going to write. Dog people. We all know a few. I am definitely not one of them. I wonder if it's from my early experience with dogs. My grandfather raised hunting beagles. They were beautiful animals, and people paid top dollar for a dog out of Atwater Sally. But they were working dogs, not pets. Grandpa trained them to obey and said playing with them would spoil them. I learned to admire them from outside their kennel, but not venture close. My opinion of dogs was not improved when a dog visiting our neighbors accidentally bit my little sister in the neck. How does a dog accidentally bite someone, you might ask? Well, it's pretty easy when you have a dog-loving little girl who's very enthusiastically petting a young dog, and the dog is very excitedly jumping around and jumps and comes down right on the little girl's neck. I knew it was an accident, but that didn't make it any less scary to see my sister with a bloody neck being rushed off to the emergency room. A few years later, I had my own experience with a dog bite. We used to summer in Gloucester, you know, the other Cape, and one time I had a friend visiting, and we went for a walk in a really nice neighborhood with old houses, small front yards, lots of shady trees. And as we were walking past one house, all of a sudden a German shepherd jumped out of the back of a pickup truck and came lunging towards me, and luckily I had fast reflexes. I still have a scar today where that dog bit me. Luckily, not in my neck. When we returned to the house with my mother, the owners said, "Oh no, that dog's been inside all this time." All the while we could see the dog lunging in the yard, in the hallway rather, and he wanted to get me again, I could just tell. So I was not really, really fond of dogs. I tried to avoid them. We'd go to visit people who had much beloved pets, and I'd sort of say, okay, nice dog, now let me go somewhere else, not near you. Well, in 2001, John and I moved to Groton, in the center of town, a big old Victorian house where neighbors were friendly. And our next door neighbor came over to introduce herself with her dog. And Corky was a gorgeous golden retriever, and he just sort of leaned into me, looked up at me, and batted his beautiful big brown eyes. And it just seemed as though he was saying, oh, you're my new best friend. And I said, no, actually, I am not your new best friend. I don't like dogs. And he looked up at me again and said, oh, yes, you are. You'll see. Well, he was right. We became very good friends, and I always enjoyed petting Corky when he was out walking with his mother. And I grieved a lot a few years later when he suddenly became sick and died. We had another dog in the neighborhood in Groton who also helped me to learn that some dogs could be okay. I was out front working in the gardens, and a woman was walking her little beagle down the street, and the dog tore his leash out of his mother's hand and came rushing up to me. And I could tell it was a friendly rush, not a threatening one. And he was a little puppy practically, and he sort of was bouncing around, and he piddled right next to my foot, but luckily not on my sneaker. So Rory and I also became friends, and I would enjoy petting him whenever he was going out for a walk. Then we sold that house and moved to Falmouth, and we bought a house that had been vacant for a few years. And our neighbor's golden doodle, Jagger, didn't know why all of a sudden there was somebody in the yard and would bark whenever I came out. But after he got to realize that I belonged there, he became very friendly. He would come right to the edge of his yard, and he'd stop at the invisible fence and hope that I would come and pet him. And he was so delightfully soft that, yes, I would have to go and pet him. And when I would visit the neighbors, I would pet him because he was delightfully soft. And he would also lean into me and say, you're one of my many best friends, because he had a lot of best friends. So I was gradually starting to say, okay, some dogs are okay. But I was still not thrilled when my younger stepson got a dog. And when he came to visit, he had nobody to keep the dog, and he had to bring the dog with him. I had never really voluntarily allowed dogs in the house, but we had to allow Fig to come in the house if we wanted to have Clark. So we did. Well, it turned out Fig is also a very delightful dog. And he was wonderful with my mother in her last year or two, and he was pretty good with me, and he and Jagger got along really, really well and would play together. And I liked watching the way my stepson basically parented his dog, how he was patient with her and trained her to be a well-behaved dog. And I've learned that, yeah, there are dogs that are okay. I'm still not a dog person. I will never be a dog person, but I'm awfully grateful to Corky, Rory, Jagger, and Fig for teaching me that some dogs are okay and that I can sort of understand why some people are dog people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellen. You know, I love the way that you walk the theme through your stories, or in this case, walk the dogs through your stories. And we kind of feel like we're traveling along with you through your life, you know, so thank you for that. And next is her husband, John Jackson, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about the political scene.
Good evening. My name is John Jackson, and as advertised, I do political limericks. My blog is limericksofprotest.com. And we're going back 6 weeks. I had to do a lot of editing. There's been a few things in the headlines. Project 2025. He wants to discredit Claims ignorance. He practically said it. On the face, it's outrageous. But at 900 pages, you know he's certainly not read it. Someone apparently missed, and Trump shook a small bloody fist. And though it seems awful, it must have been lawful, the NRA branch will insist. At the Republican convention, like their leader, some delegates appear to have bandages taped to their ear. Like a crucifix glistening, it shows they're half listening and hear what they're told to hear. It's so sad the way that Trump feels. No Sleepy Joe, no art, and no deals. He's bound to lose face when he loses the race against someone running in heels. I titled this one, Remember What They Said About Ginger Rogers. What they said about Ginger Rogers is she did everything Fred Astaire did backwards and in high heels. Overcoming hardship and trials with winning and giving us smiles. Kamala Harris and gymnastics in Paris, Team USA with Simone Biles. Felon Trump's latest disgrace, questioning Kamala's race. Audience for this attack? Journalists, black, shoots himself in the foot with his face. President Biden is showing some tact about Supreme Court changes. In fact, there isn't much to it. He could simply do it and say it's an official act. Ever since King Gilgamesh, let's try that one again. Ever since King Gilgamesh, the citizens want their leaders fresh. Sometimes elections won't make these corrections. Think Venezuela and or Bangladesh. Now, limericks are supposed to be off color, so if there's anything you don't understand about the next couple of limericks, don't look it up. But my excuse is this made my wife laugh, so I posted it anyway. Tim Walz, Governor, Minnesota. Does he fill Harris's white guy quota? What I read about Walz, high school football coach balls. He's got what it takes in his scrota. Yeah, those are my words. You may quote them. Some prefer singular, scrotum. Scrota is plural, so urban and rural, it's a singular state, Minnesotum. Donald called Kamala bitch to scratch his misogynist itch. But it's only a stunt. When he speaks of a hunt, he's describing himself as a witch. Objections to Harris, a list. Communist, socialist, pacifist. She's Indian, black, a woman in slacks, and I find her hard to resist. Said the lifelong narcissistic voyeur, quote, I am much better looking than her. If 'twere a contest of beauty instead of mere duty, no change in the polls would occur. President Joe had a story to tell. Half a century in government. Well, with the ending in sight, time to give up the fight. Take it up, Kamala. You'll do swell. Now, the theme, Dog Days. It's been, as my wife told you, a long time since I've had an enslaved canid in my house, so I was wondering just what I was going to write about, and there was something else I wanted to say, and I came across this picture. And Tony has a copy of it, so he can get it on for the rest of you to see. The poodle here pictured, Donna Scheer, has taken a tumble, I fear. Carry on without Donna? Well, we could, but don't wanna, so hurry on home to us, dear. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Entertaining as usual. And you had me at comparing Kamala Harris to Ginger Rogers, and I wonder if she's waltzing with Tim. Waltzing. Get it?
2 steps forward, no steps back.
2 steps forward, no steps back is what John just said from the audience. And next we have Z Assi, who has been here once before, and she's here again today, I believe. There she is.
Hi, I'm here to read a piece that I wrote. It's a short story, and it's a little bit off theme, but just don't really think about that. You know, dog days, summer. You get the picture. All right. On the morning of June 19th, 1989, a scientific discovery that would have changed the trajectory of human history had been made. The only issue was it was published 28 years later, in 2007. It was my first year on the job, and I was called in to do an autopsy. I was a student, and I was nervous, first time seeing a dead body. My mask was slathered in peppermint oil to make the smell less offensive, and my skin was covered in goose flesh. I remember when I first walked in, I almost physically recoiled. The room was so cold, and the body was so bloated and oversaturated with water. I thought she would look human, skin pale and soft from the ocean, but her body was bumpy, almost the texture of stuffing. Excerpt from the Little Jane Doe case, 2017. Richard Patterson, a 23-year-old med student, was pulled to do his first autopsy at 12 a.m. on June 12, 1989. 7 hours earlier, an unidentified body washed up on the coast of Maine. The body itself was unremarkable, having the average anatomical build of a middle-aged human female. The cause of death was presumed to be asphyxiation due to submersion, but the panicked bystander who called in the body reported a rotten and salty smell emanating from it, which managed to reach them from over 100 feet. The police requested an autopsy to put to rest the public fear that followed the body's discovery. What they found during the autopsy proved to be far more complex and concerning than asphyxiation. The results were kept secret as the unidentified woman's corpse slowly washed from the public's consciousness. It got to the point that I would shower before even entering my bedroom, and yet, each night as I lay down to sleep, I would feel the tug and burn of sand pressed against my legs. I would wake up in the night to grains of it imprinted on my body. I couldn't deal with it. About a week and a half later, I started sleeping on the shag carpet in my hallway. This marked a distinct change in my life. The time that I was normal, and the time that I was sleeping in my hallway because I was being haunted by sand. It had been 3.5 years since I had last visited the coast, 4 since I had been in contact with sand. How it kept appearing when I least wanted it to made no sense. 4 days after I started to sleep on the old itchy carpet, I started to notice my skin peeling, as if I had gotten a bad sunburn. Swaths of it would fall off dead and translucent, sticking to my clothing like pilling. It started on my stomach and slowly led to my back. I spent the next 3 months showering obsessively and washing all my clothing after hours of wear, cutting my hair short, removing all mirrors, and refusing to enter my bedroom. It embarrassed me the way I was living. I slept in shame on my shag carpet. It slowly crept onto my face, the peeling, and I tried to get rid of it with scrubs and soaps and tools, but soon I had started peeling off the adult layer of skin, revealing the soft adolescent flesh underneath. My body was bleeding, fresh flesh exposed too soon. I was chapped and unable to shower, water touching my body shot hot spikes of pain through my flesh. I couldn't enter my apartment without showering because what if sand got inside? So when I got home, I would walk inside, lock the door, and sleep on my welcome mat just inside. I would use my purse as a pillow and my jacket as a blanket and would, no doubt, be covered in sand. I woke up feeling it in my mouth, my underwear, my hands, my socks. Sand was everywhere. I couldn't stand it. I felt transformed, my body no longer mine, my skin wet and peeling, my hair harsh and coarse. My insides began to twist, and I sat on my doormat, eyes blurry and sweat dripping from every pore. I was overcome with nausea. I vomited, throat scratching and burning. As I looked down on the floor in front of me, a fish wriggled about. It took about 25 seconds before it died, flopping around in a puddle of bile. Surrounded by it were fish eyes and tails, motherboards and wires. I was disgusted. I closed my eyes, head dizzy, and felt electrical currents passing through my body. I felt fish moving inside of me. Ever since I started sleeping on the hallway, on my shag carpet, it had been getting worse. I left the fish and wires on the floor and stood up. My house a mess, my hallway carpet filled with sand and shame, and my skin chapped and raw. I left my apartment and locked the door. I was going home, I was going back to Maine, back to the ocean, and I was going to put an end to the sand. Somehow.
Very vivid imagery there. Thank you, Z. And next we have Lee Drescher. I don't know if Lee is here. No? Okay. So then that means next is Sean Michael Hibbert, who is going to do an original song for us and who also is on camera somewhere. Hi, come on up.
Well, the thing is that I'm nervous, so I'm going to pretend that there's an invisible person right here. Oh, thank you. So pretty much, I wrote this song in the parking lot of a Walmart, and never sung it in front of people before. It's the first draft. You will definitely tell by the time I start singing it, and yeah, I'm still just trying to find the tune. This is like my guinea pig performance show type thing. So, woo. Loneliness is such a sucky feeling, a punishment of your own undoing. People looking at you like some sort of alien, 'cause you're so far from a perfect stallion. So you try to go make yourself invisible. When will the world know that you're not invincible? Feeling down, I bet, but don't you have no regret? People eventually get why you're the greatest yet. Hey, yo, listen up, my fellow weirdos. We can go be some heroes. This is our story, this is our glory, this is our anthem. Being outcasted from society, creating all of these feelings and also anxiety. Some people don't know how your brain works, and also some of your amazing quirks. So you try to go rap-da-ba-dee-da-da. That's okay, your personality will glow. Don't give in to the hate, the people are gonna be late to see what you will create. Hey yo, it's no debate. Hey yo, listen up, my fellow weirdos. We can go be some heroes. This is our story, this is our glory, this is our anthem. Oh, oh, we're all in this together. We can sing this song forever. We got the power, this is our hour, this is our anthem. Tell me, why are we so divided here now? What is the purpose of this tear? Wow, we're supposed to be helping each other, positively building up one another. By the end of the night, we're gonna make it right. Come on and combine our might, we got some history to write. It's time for us to take flight and soar into brand new heights. Let's get rid of this fight and just reunite. Hey, yo, listen up, my fellow weirdos. We can go be some heroes. This is our story, this is our glory, this is our anthem. Oh, oh, we're all in this together. We can sing the song forever. We got the power, this is our hour, this is our anthem. Oh, 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 oh, oh. And that's it. It goes into a chant and into a chorus. So, yeah, don't mind the synchronized voices.
Thank you so much, Sean. I just want to say, you know, we don't often talk about it. We just think it, and then people come up here. But it takes a lot of bravery to get up here and share your insights with everybody out there. And I think that by doing that, you empower others to know that they're not alone and that they can have the power to do that too. So I thank you for that, Sean. Next, we have Sienna Strickland, and this is her first time at Poetic License as a performer, though she's been here in the audience before. Sienna? Another camera person.
Hello, everyone. So this is my first time. I'm super nervous, but Sean just gave me the bravery to sing. Thank you. So I also wrote this song in a parking lot. That's kind of a funny coincidence. It doesn't have a title, but okay. This is my take on the theme Dog Days. Is there a way to bring this up a teeny bit? Thank you. Okay, thank you. That's good. Okay. Lounging on the long lawn, clouds billowing by, wondering how to become someone that I like. Singed skin sticks to sweat-stained cotton, stoners surrounding me, coughing. Summer stretched before me. Strange stranger says you come here often, sensing something missing, but don't know why. Lounging on the long lawn, staring into the fire, wondering how to become someone I admire. Sweet kids playing on the swing set. There's things they know that I don't know yet. This chafing sunburn hasn't shed yet. This fresh cut grass is stabbing my legs, sensing something missing. Grandma says it's Jesus Christ. I have this little inkling, it's this boy I won't let me like. Sun rays reluctant to part ways, telling me there's no more shade. I'm not completely done yet, so I'm letting myself bake. I'm not completely done yet, so I'm letting myself bake. Said I'm not completely done yet, so I'm letting myself bake.
Talk about bravery singing a cappella. And if you're not done yet, I can't wait to see what happens when you're fully baked. Okay. Next we have Shane Hurley, and this is his first time, and he's got a poem for us, and he's a local writer and director. Shane? Which camera are you on? No.
I'm Shane Hurley, and if you'd like to see my visual poems, you can find them on youtube.com/@PressedOnStars. And this poem is called Armor. You're like handfuls of soil, the irony of a floodgate, the promise of a bridge. My armor, leaves, summer's kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. A taller person than I. That was short and sweet. And now, one of my favorite mermaids, a fellow mermaid, Elaine Robinson.
I am Elaine Robinson, and I am going to read some poetry about my dachshunds. Okay, I was delighted with the theme this month. So we'll begin about my dog Willie, and this poem is entitled The Beast. A cold, wet nose poked me in the face. A fat, warm sausage nudged me aside and took my place. Doxy, number one, the beast is called. He rules my household, contributing fleas, hair, and other little goodies. But oh, what fun, on a freezing winter's night, the beast is in my bed, keeping me warm, snoring at unknown decibels. No human can compare to the beast in my lair. That was my first dachshund, Willie. This is my second one, Q, and this is entitled Sir Q. We usually called him Sir Q. My mother, before she passed on, pointed to her dachshund. There is your inheritance. Barking, biting, lawsuit walking. Never housebroken. People he disliked. Other dogs fared no better. But cats, he loved them all. When I was alone, what a watchdog. No fear, he rose to his duty of protection. He attacked my boyfriends, except the one who was to become my husband, because he fed him pork chops. Sir Q, a unique little dog, now a guardian up in heaven. I have had other dachshunds who were gentler, nicer, sweeter, but Sir Q I miss the most. The walks, the evenings on our deck, sipping wine, eating cheese, Q at our feet, a long-haired mini dachshund in my heart. Next, with my overactive imagination, of course, we live on Cape Cod, so out in the water, there are sea dachshunds. Swimming with fish and mermaids, sea dachshunds, magical canines, propelling fins through tropical waters, whimsical sea dogs, playful and alluring. Swimmers marvel at them, capture them on camera, but unable to bring them home. Whales and dolphins protect them, sharks swim around them. Humans can only observe the long bodies with a fishtail. The mermaid laughs as the sea dachshunds dive and bark at onlookers. The sea has many secrets to share, and the weenie with the fishtail comes to life, beckoning humans to enchanted waters. And then my last dachshund, Napoleon, this poem is kind of about him with a lot of fantasy added into it. And this poem is the title of my book, and this is called Mermaids and Wiener Dogs. My little weenie, with his short, stubby legs, barks fervently for his goodies. Cat food, chicken, coffee with cream, eating and drinking all in sight. Calories add up, so off for a walk to the pond we trot. Squirrels, blue jays, observe our fast pace. Cars zoom by as if in a dream. The mermaid's singing flows through the dusk air. Her melodic voice signals the end of day and the beginning of night. Napoleon sniffs and lifts his little leg at every tree, stump, and blade of grass. The wind fades away as the day comes to an end. The soft voice of the woman with the fishtail disappears into the silence of the dark blue water. She waits for the human and her weenie dog, fascinated by our daily ritual of a stroll that completes our day, but signals the beginning of a mermaid's watch over a body of water connected to the ocean world. The tiny hot dog sniffs the edge of a cool, dark blue pond. Ripples signal come hither as the mermaid's eyes peer below the surface. He lets out a short woof, sensing her presence, but a wagging tail indicates he already knows her. A hand comes through the water, stroking the soft black fur. She takes it all in, recording every move of the wiener dog and his human. That's it.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I knew about seahorses, but sea dogs, I never knew. Sea dachshunds, that's pretty cool. I guess they're salty dogs, eh? Anyway, your Napoleon certainly has an interesting diet. How lovely that the mermaid accompanies you both on your walks. Thanks again. And next we have Jackson Gillman, a gentleman appropriately dubbed the stand-up chameleon. Jackson?
Thank you, Sue. There was a song written by Julie Gold called From a Distance. And it was at a good time because it was right before the Persian Gulf War. And it was kind of a wake-up call to realize, no, these aren't little ants down there, they're people. And it kind of gave people like a pause. So it was used as an anthem for peace. And I heard that the U.S.
military actually gave it an award and used it to inspire the troops. I'm not sure how that worked, but it seems like a very peculiar misappropriation of the intent of that song. And however, inappropriate or hijacking that might appear, it's not nearly as sacrilegious as what I'm about to do to it. Actually, it's a parody written by colleague Jay Mankita. And I think you'll see why I am using it for Dog Days. From a dog stance, the world's a bowl of food, and no dog is in need. From a dog stance, no dog's ever rude. There's just one hungry mouth to feed. From a dog stance, there is harmony. Ow! And it rests upon my plate. It's the drool of hope. It's the look of guilt. It's the stance of every dog. From a dog stance, you all have enough. So why not give dogs more? From a dog stance, dogs can't comprehend what all these cats are for. From a dog stance, you are waitresses going to the kitchen now, bringing plates of food. Make that people food. It's the stance of every dog. Dogs are watching you. Dogs are watching you. Dogs are watching you from a dog stance. From a dog stance, the world's a bowl of food, and no dog is in need. There are no cats, postmen, baths, or fleas. There's just one hungry mouth to feed. From a dog stance, there is harmony. Oh! And it rests upon my plate. It's the drool of hope. It's the look of guilt. It's the stance of every dog.
Sitting right here next to me is a recording musician here all the way from Ann Arbor, Michigan, my darling Chip Kramer. It's been easy to get frustrated by those long, hot dog days and overlook all the beauty there is in the warmth of the summer sun.
It's as simple as a flower blooming in the garden. Life's all around you and me. The sound of the wind, the movement of the sun. Life's all around you and me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, heaven's not really very far. It lives in you and me, on the land and in the sea. Heaven lives in everything that touches you and me. I sit beside a waterfall and let its cool mist comfort me. Life's all around you and me. The mountains peak, the canyons deep, I listen to its echoing. Life's all around you and me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, heaven's not really very far. My lover's touch, her soft embrace, a smile that glides across her face. Life's all around you and me. Together we will spread love given to us from above. Life's all around you and me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, heaven's not really very far. It lives in you and me, on the land and in the sea. Heaven lives in everything that touches you and me. The sky is pink, the sun is red, as it's lying down to bed. Life's all around you and me. The flowers close and you will doze. Time to end another day. Life's all around you and me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, heaven's not really very far. It lives in you and me, on the land and in the sea. Heaven lives in everything that touches you and me. Everywhere you look, everywhere you are, heaven's not really very far. It lives in you and me, on the land and in the sea. Heaven lives in everything that touches you and me.
Thank you, Chip Kramer.
You're welcome.
And now, a closing poem from our regular hostess with the mostest and devoted grand puppy mama, our dear friend Donna Scheer.
Hi, my name is Donna Scheer, and I'm not there right now. I'm recuperating, but I wrote this song. It's a love song to the dog that I lost a year ago, and it's called Symbiotic. Symbiotic. He creeps into my heart as he barks at the puppy in the mirror. Conquest complete, he nests in my lap to nap. At the dog park, he schmoozes with the owners and me. His strong hind legs propel him like a brown bullet, chasing bubbles and biscuits and bunnies. He learns tricks as easy as breathing, allows the red tutu around his waist to flounce as we dance together. I gladly suffer tennis elbow, throwing his ball ad infinitum. He guards me from squirrels on the lawn, the whistle of wind in the night, and delivery men, except for the one with a pocket full of treats. Wintertime, under the covers, like a puzzle piece, he owns the backs of my knees, and I am so grateful for his glow. In the end, I throw money at the vets, carry him when his legs give out, clean his messes, croon my love to him. Cushing's disease sounds like a gentle ailment. It is not. Then he's gone. Tell me, I have scraped enough good karma together to return as my dog and he as me. Thank you. song is for my dog that I have currently. His name is Wozy. He's a big old luggy dog. And he's usually pretty good about staying close by, but sometimes he runs off and I wonder where he is. So this song is for him. Thank you, Chip. A donde se fue mi perrito? A donde se fue? Con el coda cortada y orejas también. A donde se fue, se fue. A donde se fue. Where, oh, where has my little dog gone? Where, oh, where can he be? With his tail cut short and his ears cut long. Oh, where can he be? Where, oh, where can he be?
Puppy or person, dear Donna, if karma means balance, may all the joy you've sent into the world circle round it and return to you as an enveloping, healing hug. You are all welcome to be audience members and experience Poetic License live at the studio. And remember, here on FCTV, you also have a doggone license to share your amazing creations. If you would like to share your original creations on this program, just email tony@fctv.org and let us know. Next month's program will be on Thursday, September 26th at 6 p.m. here at the FCTV studio at 310 Dillingham Ave, Falmouth, Mass. The suggested theme will be grandparents. Until then, like the sun in these dog days, as Donna would say, shine on.